who is the better duo on this day, and we are about to find out. On board with the cells right now, but it's going to be Avexys that goes down first. And we have Hndcells on the flank, a nice quick cleanup, going to let his boy Hndcells finish it up, and that is the first round in the books.
And that is our Gears Award Pro League Player of the Week on your screens right there, Hndcells. He honestly, man, he like throughout both days of the Pro League, Tuesday and Wednesday, when I tell you this guy was popping off and nobody could stop him, I absolutely mean that one, Frank. So excited to see how he's going to play today, see if he can carry over some of this momentum that he's had in 4v4 Gears Award to 2v2. You only need half of it. Yeah,
just half of the squad. There's Hndcells doing work as well, but I definitely do. And Hndcells making quick work there of the final kill, 2 rounds in a row. But I was going to kind of say, it seems like, you know, in last Astro Battles tournament, Hndcells kind of was the one popping off. So it doesn't surprise me to hear that he was that MVP, that star-studded player in the Pro League, because he's definitely elevated his game and has been playing extremely well all around. But here we are on board with his duo, Hndcells. Gonna watch him play this pillar. Gets a nice little shot, forces VexZem to back up. And now he's on the hunt for Avexys. Avexys taking some damage, is going to be able to start recovering that health there, though, as Hndcells taking a lot of fire from VexZem, but Avexys going to be able to clean that one up. Hndcells also goes down. And there's Hndcells going down as well. So Avexys and VexZem getting around back.
Yeah, man, they had Hndcells and Hndcells pinched for a good amount of time. To the point where they couldn't even take no mid-map control. So Hndcells and Hndcells just need to watch out for that one going into this next round. Make sure they at least have one of their guys on either the mid pillar or the mid box anywhere, but you can't be that far back on the sandbags. I'm pretty sure they'll make the corrections coming to this round. As you see, Hndcells screen right, playing that right hand advantage, but VexZem's doing the same versus Hndcells. Can he get it just in time to dodge Hndcells? Oh, so he's going to be able to clean up this kill and set himself up for a 1v1. That was the most important thing, but Hndcells in front of him. VexZem can't get the 1v2, but a damn good effort.
Yeah, super good effort there. Good heads up, like kind of, you know, he had that shot clock in his mind of him tapping up from that down, and he was able to switch targets, clean up that kill. I know if that was me, I choke that 10 out of 10 times, and I don't get that cleanup, but he did exactly what he needed to do to give himself his best shot, but it's a 2v1 in 2v2s, and that's tough to pull off for anyone. There's Hndcells, though, going to be going down to VexZem right now, trying to crawl away with his life, but looks like it's going to be all but over in that round. So Avexys and VexZem keeping pace here in this first map of the semifinal.
And keeping pace is super important, especially when it comes down to the early rounds. Big reason being is that you find yourself down 6-1, 7-1, and you're trying to make a comeback. To make a 5-6 round comeback in Astro Battles is very hard, but you know, we've casted so many that we have seen a few, but you never want to be in that position. You always have to stay confident, stay aggressive, and fight your battles, man, because you're not going to win Astro Battles without trying to set the pace and shooting the first shot. So we see VexZem and Avexys kind of controlling this fight for now, but Avexys backs up, gives us Hndcells some space over here towards the pillar, and now we get a chance to see how are they going to break this one. But I'll tell you one thing, man, VexZem is going to be the focus here for VQ.
Yeah, and VexZem does have that pistol right now, so that might play a factor later on, but Hndcells is going to be able to take down Avexys. VexZem gets a nice shot in there, but Hndcells with the spread going to be able to take them down and get a 2-round lead. So nice plays out of both. I feel like this is in this 2v2 that we're witnessing right now, a lot of respect out there on the map, right? Nobody doing anything too flashy, playing it pretty safe, pretty conservative, all things considered, as these two duos duke it out. So love to see that. Here we have Avexys. See if he's able to make a play here. Hndcells and Hndcells not really getting a good break, not out of spawn too quick, but it looks like they're going to try to collapse on VexZem. Hndcells is able to get that down. Avexys able to get the trade, but it is gonna be the Swarm in the end. So a 3-round lead now for them.
Close quarter battles right there. I know Avexy, he thought he can get that revive off in time on VexZem for one of these guys to make a play, but he's probably feeling right now in hindsight he should just went for the kills, man. Just played his right hand advantage, cleaned them both up. But that was a tough round, and we're on board with Hndcells to kick this one off. He gets hit with a few shots, and he's going to get backed up to spawn. So that means the Hndcells needs to push forward. They both can't get stuck back there, but Hndcells quickly joins the fight, gets the first down, connects with that shot, and gets the chunk as well.
Yeah, that was a beautiful job from Hndcells, kind of mirroring that flank, even though he retreated back to the sandbags and kind of had to get his health back a little bit. He recognized, oh, my duo's kind of left out to dry there for a little bit, so he shadowed that mid box and was able to add some damage in there and close that.
And what was important is he didn't take too much time. If Hndcells did not push up in the fashion that he did, they both are taking shots, getting trapped in spawn. So Hndcells even had the great awareness of knowing that his teammate needed him to relieve some pressure, possibly distract both of these players for a little bit. Now, Hndcells, he's pushed up, but Hndcells has realized that these guys aren't shooting at him, so he's trying to get some damage out now, seeing what he can play, if he can play off his teammates' fight. But at this point, Avexys and Avexys, you see how close they stand together, taking damage. Whoa, that shot from afar. Avexys was never able to get his health back, but the instant revive comes through. No. Hndcells gets the down, the blind fire over the cover, but Avexys just wins the round.
Man, that was a beautiful play by Hndcells, though, right? Like, if you're gonna turn a 2v1, that's the way to do it. Nice patience, nice awareness out of him. So, you know, even though Avexys and Avexys get that round, it was perfect.
It was something extremely important in there, too, as well, that even from afar, he was quickly hitting pellets, right? Even though his pellets was doing like 1 damage, 2 damage, like, they weren't great shots, but it's just stopped his opponent from getting his health back. So you saw that long range down come through, but you also saw Avexys and Avexys like staying close to each other, being there for the revive, taking damage, and it just it shows the respect that they have across towards the Hndcells. But they're at a 2-round deficit right now. We'll see if they can get this one tied up in map number 1.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, Avexys and Hndcells have definitely had a couple of those rounds where they're looking to close this one up, but Hndcells and Hndcells have been kind of just eking out, just playing a little bit better, a little bit more on the ball today as Hndcells comes through, takes out Avexys to end that round as they maintain that 3-round lead. But yeah, it's all like, you know, you can see those little instances of that awareness. I think that, you know, looking back 2 rounds to the kind of what we were discussing, where Avexys and Hndcells played that buddy system so close because they knew that Hndcells was capable of turning that 2v1. So it's all about those little decisions right now between these two duos as we see Hndcells push up onto Avexys, able to take him down, but it's going to be Hndcells trying to make a play, unable to do so as Hndcells with that quick awareness gets right behind him and gets him down with that shot. So now 4-round lead as VexZem just needs 2 more rounds here to take map number 1 in this first semifinal.
All right, here. VexZem getting it done, but I will tell you one thing, man. It is Hndcells and Hndcells with the lead, and not VexZem. So, juked me out as well, right? I was like, damn, VexZem.
Because I'll tell you what happened.
Came back already.
I looked at the top, and the top where it says VexZem is red, so I associated that with the swarm. It was a little, you know, if there was one time where being, you know, colorblind would have been an advantage, it was that time, but I wasn't. Right, so I got myself twisted up. Yeah.
Don't worry, when it comes down to casting Gears of War, we rely a lot on the reds and the blues. Now, right here, oh, Avexys, he cuts in, gets the wrap shot, gets his team around, and that was important for him, and that was a big 1v1. His opponent would have been at that match point, but now, Hndcells and Avexys, they got some confidence in this one. They know that they still have an opportunity just down 3 rounds, and that's all you should be focusing on right now.
Yeah, for sure. And like that 2 rounds, right? Like it's much different being on map point. That 9 rounds versus 8, especially against duos like this, it's not enough breathing room. Like we've seen how back and forth this matchup has been, as we see a lot of downs coming out from Avexys and Hndcells. Hndcells hanging on for his life here, trying to make something happen, but it looks like that lead that they had is going to be narrowed yet again. So Cog taking that one, dwindling the round lead down to 2. It's definitely doable for him, but I know that, man, being 2 rounds away, Hndcells and Hndcells definitely want to close this one out.
They most definitely do. These next 2 rounds are super important, and they're in a good spot, right? But if their opponents start streaking at this moment, that momentum is going to be in Hndcells and Avexys' favor. But the focus is towards the left pillar. Hndcells is going to win his battle, so now Hndcells needs to step up. But he took so much damage from Avexys in his 1v1 that they're going to lose this round. So now at this point, it's anyone's game, Frank. It's 7-8 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, so close, and especially you talked about that momentum going into this round, and now Avexys and XBL definitely have it. We could see 8 rounds to 8, a tie ball game in our first map of the night here, which would be awesome to see. Start us off with a round 19. You can't ask for much more, but it's going to be up to Avexys and XBL to tie it up right here, and Avexys with the long-range shot, going to be getting some downs, and everyone is down, and that is a tie game, 8 rounds to 8.
Man, as soon as he got his down, he completely roadie ran away from his fight because he knew he was about to get pressed, and he took a long angle, and him and XBL was able to work together to take down Hndcells. Coming here.
That's the 4:59 when you're at work, right? The clock hit 5 o'clock, and he was out of there. But that was the smart play out of him, and ooh, now we have a scrap at that mid box, able to get up. XBL is back up and in the fight. Hndcells, though, coming in, able to get the trade,
my God.
But woof. And just
5
like that,
rounds in a row when their opponent, honestly, like, if they would have got 9-4, I was like, hell no, they're not coming back, right?
Right.
But just the fact that they didn't get 9, man, round 9 is just as much as a win condition as 10 here, especially when you're in these long stretch battles of these quick rounds. They can honestly go either way. But here we go, XBL trying to end it now. Make it 6 rounds in a row for this map #1 comeback. Hndcells and Hndcells, they don't know what to do. Getting kind of flustered. Avexys wins his fight. Hndcells, can he take one to the grave? They won't allow it. They won't allow it. They're going to take their time with this one, but Hndcells is doing a good job working that cover.
Yeah, and that was just the perfect pinch, too. As soon as they got isolated on that pillar, that was like a wrap, but that's a way to end it. That sends a message of Avexys and XBL streaking 6 rounds in a row at the very end to come back and take map #1. That's man, that's impressive. Avexys and XBL, they came to play today.
Hndcells is trying really hard, so that's going to have to stick with them coming over here towards mid, but as professional players, we'll see how quickly they can put that in the back of their minds.
I like that little breakout from XBL there. Kind of fades out to the left, able to get a couple shots in, but Hndcells on the wrap, able to take them down, and that's going to be all Hndcells there. Coming back, and that's what they needed, right? Like, first round, you got to come out strong. Make sure to squash any of that momentum that Avexys and XBL were looking to carry over, and make sure that you kind of check them and say, hey, listen, map #1's over. We understand what you did to us, but we're moving past it. They're over it now, and we'll have to see how this map plays out. Hndcells being forced back into spawn a little bit. It's going to leave Hndcells a little bit isolated. He is able to recover some of his health. Hndcells now, though, getting his health back. Bit of a stalemate. Bit of an unconventional breakout here as Avexys is in that same ramp area.
Yeah, but I don't know who's in a worse position, Avexys or Hndcells, because Hndcells has right hand and he has XBL trapped and closed. Hndcells can freely move wherever he wants, but Avexys, he's right here mid-map, but I think it's the pistols that's going to make the difference, and XBL gets beamed from afar, and you see how Hndcells stays in the corner. He wants Avexys out in the open so his teammate can get some great shots in, and that's exactly what Hndcells is going to do, but I must say, Avexys almost clutched up that 1v2.
Yeah, that was about as close as you can get from that advantage, but that pistol made a big difference. Just the damage that was able to be put out at that range kind of turned that. So great heads-up play on that pistol there, but Hndcells too, doing a little back step on that shot. We have XBL and Hndcells. Hndcells looking to cross-map a couple of shots here, and that's going to end up with Avexys going down. Hndcells able to clean it up, and now it's all on XBL to try to make something happen here. Just about full red on this box, trying to keep the pillar away from him, but that's going to open it up for Hndcells to get that down and that kill to be cleaned up. So here we have 3 rounds in a row now, and I think Avexys and XBL maybe having to question kind of what's going on, because if I was them, I would certainly expect, maybe they expected Hndcells and Hndcells to come out a little bit deflated, but clearly they had a different idea coming into map #2 here.
Yeah, different idea indeed. I think, Avexys and XBL was just going to come in and pick up where they left off on those previous 6 rounds, but as you see, man, their opponent, they knew that this was a new map and they had to come out here and refocus, and that's exactly what Hndcells and Hndcells did. But 3 rounds in a row, that's a great start for them. They get a little bit of cushion. They're going to lose round #4, but as we head into round #5 of a maximum 19, we'll see if Avexys and XBL can kind of cut down this deficit. But paying attention to Hndcells here on the mid box. Nice back A. He goes for the wrap shot, misses, but his opponent's full red. Avexys going to back up from his 1v1. take the quick 2v1, and they lock that in.
I think, too, what's interesting, kind of looking at Astro Battles, that history as a whole, is the biggest improvement I've seen out of these teams isn't even anything mechanically. It's the mental game, because previously I feel like early on in Astro Battles, if a team came out 3 rounds to nothing, it was almost you could predict that series and say, okay, you know, they've got the momentum, the other team's going to fold. But the biggest improvement is like that mental fortitude out of all these players to make comebacks. And speaking of which, his handle's going to do it. Avexys, just enough damage to clean that one up. But I feel like it is that mental game is the improvement I've seen the most out of these duos, is their ability to just hang in there and keep fighting, which is, I think, almost just as impressive as any mechanical skill.
Hey man, well, that's a big skill trait you need to be a professional Gears of War player.
True.
You got to know how to keep going, round after round, initial after initial, game after game, hell, event after event. It's just slowly getting better and understanding your mistakes from the previous. But these guys know all about that one. As you see, Hndcells and Avexys learned everything that they needed off those first 3 rounds to come back even better, win 4 in a row. Now it seems like they are setting the pace. And with them setting the pace, we'll see if they can. We'll see how Hndcells is going to adapt to it.
Yeah, for sure. Going to be interesting. And then, you know, just kind of thinking out loud, I'm excited for live events to come back eventually, because maybe some of these teams who are good online, it's a little different when the team is yelling at you from directly across from you, and that plays a part as well. That's kind of the holy trinity of Gears of War gameplay, is your mechanics, your composure, and then is the opponent getting in your head by screaming across the monitor from you. So we're kind of missing one of those elements. It's going to be interesting to see if that shakes up land placings at all.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting indeed. The trades are there. Avexys hops over, and that was a blunder on his part, and he knows it. All tied up 4-4. But I agree with you, Frank. That is a big part of it, that trash talk, just being in the same environment, you know, with your opponent, and just having that ability to look, even if you don't talk trash, just being able to get a kill and look them in their eyes says a lot, all right? Trust me, I've been on the other side of taunting like that one. But if I had to give any of these duos the upper hand, I might give it to Hndcells in the trash talk department.
Yeah. And you know what? They kind of throw out some good looks here, too. I like that. They just avoided the pillars that round entirely and said, we're just both going to kind of go to this mid box, and that ends up working out for them. I like sometimes you do the trick plays in 2v2, which comes out and comes into play, and I like that out of Hndcells, not afraid to mix it up a little bit, and that gets them 2 rounds in a row, so good on them. And here they are back to the normal strategy. Hndcells looking, great shots out of Hndcells, able to take down Hndcells. Hndcells gets the down, but the buddy's going to get him up. Hndcells back up, hits the shot right away, and cleans up the round.
Hndcells shot on it. It didn't even come out because he got the down, and from that point, he had about 3-4 seconds to deliver one back A on that fight, even if it was the down, his opponent, whatever. But it's still a difficult position to be in. Hndcells and Avexys ties it all up once again. But here we go. And we're going to follow on board with Avexys for this one, as he is going towards mid pillar, right-hand advantage. Hit the first shot, cuts in, tags up Hndcells. Going to get close to his teammate because he knows that VQ is going to be focusing him, but double down on the map. Hndcells cuts back on a fake, but Avexys recovers and locks in another round for him and his duo.
That just harkens back to like Season 1 Astro Battles, Hndcells and Avexys for me. That movement so crisp, the shot even crispier, the target switching on point. If Avexys is on fire, you got to do everything you can to put that out, because he's able to take rounds on his own, and he did so just there. You're going to have to see how it plays out. Hndcells battling here on this mid box, gets a nice shot, nice down, cleans it up, and that's the round. Tied back up at 6, as this one is anyone's game.
And you see, I think Hndcells kind of knew. Sorry, not Hndcells, but that was Avexys. He knew that he was possibly going down towards the back pillar, so he slashed his teammate just to get into that revive range, make those players get a little bit closer. But Hndcells and Hndcells had it all under control. Now, that's a great first shot from Hndcells. I saw the blood screen right. Hndcells with the wrap, but they're going to lose this round.
Ooh, yeah, looking a little unraveled there in that round. We saw a couple of bad movement choices, a couple of misrolls, and that's going to give the round to Avexys and Hndcells. So they are nearing this one, but I mean, shoot, we saw during the first map you can go on 6-round streaks even at this level of gameplay. So hesitant to call anything, but I think Avexys and Hndcells looking in control for the time being. But just as I say that, Hndcells hits another great long-range shot, going to be taking down Avexys. Now it's all on Hndcells to make something happen here, but Hndcells able to pinch that perfectly, take that round, and we're right back to being tied up again.
At 7-7 this time around. We were all tied up at 8-8 in the last game, and we just have a best of 5 remaining so far. Hndcells, man, he's been leading the charge over here for him and Hndcells, picking up these kills. Let's see if he can take charge now, because this is when he needs to the most. Hndcells goes down quickly. Hndcells, his guy's gonna back up. You see how Hndcells disengaged? He says, nope, no free shots for you. They bait him out into the open, hit those L triggers. Hndcells and Avexys, they're going to take the lead.
That crown can be pretty heavy, Blaze. If you're Hndcells knowing you're the player of the week or anything, I mean, sometimes that can get into your head a little bit. And like you mentioned, it's Hndcells kind of doing some of the work, the grunt work here, getting a lot of these kills, a lot of these downs. So
I'm actually think I'm mistaken on that, but I think Hndcells is leading the top of the kill feed. But regardless, they need to work together as a duo to be able to come back in this one. And so far, so good. It's a close game, but Hndcells going to cut back. You see he push Hndcells all the way up to the top of the ramp. Lets his teammate fight his 1v1, and now they have another 2v1 to take a 2-round lead and get to series point.
Yeah, and that's just a matter of time in that position. I think he was at like 18% when the assault happened from Avexys and Hndcells. So now they just need one, and they'll be in the grand finals tonight, pushing Hndcells and Hndcells out of the tournament, which really just makes me all that more excited for that spring 2v2 major, which of course is coming up on April 17th, because I mean, all of these duos have been so neck and neck in talent. It really is just who's the best on that day, and right now it's looking like it's Avexys and Hndcells. Just need one. Avexys gonna rush down Hndcells. Hndcells getting the knife to the throat for the finish, and that is gonna be Avexys and Hndcells winning the first semifinal of the night.
Man, congratulations to them. When it came down to the late game, they had enough information to just kind of streak out these rounds and close it out. It was tied up 8-8 in map. Actually, they were down 8-4 in map number 1, 1-6 in a row to take